If you guys are looking for some cheap coins on FC25, make sure you check out MMOEXP.com. Their link is down in the description. They're fast, cheap and reliable, and if you use my code REMA, you can get yourself a lovely 5% discount. So, what's up guys, it's Ash here and welcome back to a brand new video. Now, in today's video guys, we have some tactics and player roles for the 4-5-1 formation. Now, the way I'm currently finding my tactics and stuff to use in this game is I really enjoy playing FUT Draft, right? It's like the only thing I would actually say I fully enjoy on this game at the moment because it's just a bit more chill. But what I've been doing is just trying out all these different players and different formations in FUT Draft, and then when there's one I'm like, oh wow, this actually feels pretty good, I'll then go and use it in Rivals and stuff like that just to make sure it's actually decent. And that's what this 4-5-1 is. It's just a very nice formation. It's good in the defense with the 5 across the midfield and the 4 at the back. It's also really nice in the attack because you have quite a lot of options with the players. So I really like it. I hope you guys do too. So yeah, with all that aside guys, let's get right into the video. Please be sure to drop this thumbs up just before we get started though, as it does help me out massively with the YouTube search. And yeah, with all that aside guys, let's get right into today's video. Hope you enjoy. Okay then guys, so starting off with the tactics. For the tactical preset, ensure you have it on custom, sorry. This is so you can actually make the changes you want. If you have it on one of EA's like preset ones, it's a bit more restricted, you can't do as much. So just make sure you have the preset on custom if you're doing this manually. And the formation we're using is the 4-5-1 flat. So this is the one with the 3 centre mids. It's not the attack variation which has the 2 cams. So it's this one here, the 4-5-1 flat. It's just really nice and well balanced and it works quite well in this game. So this is the one you're going to want to use. For the build-up style guys, I recommend in this game using balance because I feel like it's a lot more reliable and a lot more consistent than using something like counter or short passing. I think it gives me a lot more well-balanced options. You know, sometimes my players will make those, you know, they'll come short, and other times they'll make those runs in behind. It just seems to have that variety and it just seems to be more reliable than the others. That being said, if you feel more comfortable using something like counter or short passing, then that's absolutely fine. Feel free to use that. There is no right or wrong, just remember that. So if there's something you prefer to use, just use it and you'd be better off anyway. Now for the defensive approach, I'm currently using aggressive. Now the reason I'm using this is because if you've watched my like little rant video about this game, you'll know this is completely broken and it's very hard to beat. So when you use an aggressive defensive approach, you have like a really high line, your defense does these automatic offside traps, and I keep saying you can tackle players from behind and get the ball. Like, you can genuinely do that. So they pretty much have nowhere to go. Pace isn't the most effective in this game, so you can pretty much just win the ball high up the pitch. Your opponent can't do anything, and you're as happy as Larry essentially. So I like using aggressive at the moment. It's very, very overpowered. But if you want to use something like high or balanced, you know, because you're more comfortable with that, then that is absolutely fine. Use what you need to, guys. Now, moving on to the player roles, this is what it looks like without the ball. I'm pretty sure you guys are aware of this, but if you're not, whichever formation you're using to base your tactics off in this game is how it will defend when you don't have the ball. So essentially, the base formation that you're using is how it will look like when you don't have the ball. So you can see this is just what the 4-5-1 flat shape is, and this is how it looks off the ball. So that's just what it's going to defend in. So you can see right there, it's actually pretty solid just as it is. More interestingly, this is what it looks like with the ball. So when we have the ball, this is what the team's going to transition more into. So let's just quickly talk over the instructions and why we use what we use on them. So on my striker, I've got obviously Erling Haaland, and he's got that ++ role in the poacher. So we choose poacher because it means he's just going to be really effective at getting tap-ins and scoring lots of goals. He's going to make so many runs because that ++ really helps. The two roles I would say are good for a striker in this formation is probably advanced forward or poacher. So advanced forwards, basically just a balanced striker. They'll do a bit of everything. Sometimes they'll come short. Other times they'll make runs. They do a bit of everything. So advanced forward's not a bad option, but because we've got a player with poacher ++, it makes more sense for us to use poacher instead of advanced forward, which he doesn't have. So poacher on the striker for me. Now, for the right mid and the left mid, both of them, I have them on inside forward and I have them on balance. But if you want to, you can pop them onto attack, which makes it look a bit more like a 4-3-3, as you can see here. I do this sometimes when I'm struggling, but I prefer balance to start. But the reason we do inside forward is because it means they start their runs out on the left. sorry, they start there, runs out wide, and then transition more into those narrow areas to get close to goal. So it's like a really nice AI movement that I like. You seem to get a lot more out of these players on this role specifically. But again, if you want to make it more aggressive and more like a 4-3-3 on the ball, then you can pop both the right mid and the left mid on the attack role like that. So with the ball, it'll look like that, and then without the ball, it looks like that. So it's basically like a 4-3-3 that defends in a 4-5-1. But, you know, if you want to do that, you can. But I just leave them both on balanced for now. Now, moving on to the middle centre mid. So this is like the more defensive-minded midfielder. So we use Rodri, somebody that's just there to be like a guardian, break up the play. We pop them on holding, so they're always just going to cover that middle area of the pitch. You know there's always going to be someone there, somebody to give your team that control. So I like having this middle centre mid here on holding, and it's best to use somebody like a Rodri or like a Ramirez here, somebody like that that can really just, you know, control that game for you. Now for the left centre mid, I use a box-to-box, so somebody that's going to be very up and down the pitch. You can see here on the heat map, they pretty much do everything. Now I'm a big fan of box-to-box in this game because I feel like they're very good in both the attack and the defence, and you don't really notice too much of a gap being left when you lose the ball with a box-to-box. They seem to get back very quickly and cover that space back again. So I like box-to-box on this left centre mid here. And then for the right centre mid, I use Kevin De Bruyne here. So we've got a holding centre mid, we've got a box-to-box centre mid on the left. So on this right centre mid, I like to use a playmaker because you can see in this formation we don't have like a cam, so there's not really a creative player in the team as such by default. So if we pop this player on playmaker, they kind of like they kind of take that role as a cam when we have the ball, which is really useful. So if you have somebody like Kevin De Bruyne or like a Bruno Fernandes, somebody with that long ball plus, incisive plus, somebody with really good passing stats, they can really excel on this playmaker role as one of the centre mids. So I really enjoy using this one. Moving on to the fullbacks, guys. On this right back here, I pop them on wing back. Now the reason we do this is because we use inside forward. So our left mid and right mid, which would usually give us the width, are on the inside forward instructions. So they're actually going to be quite in the narrow areas. So that means without this right back, we don't really have any width. So if we pop this player on wing back, it means they're not going to be super aggressive in the attack, you know, they're not going to leave lots of space. But when we need that extra width, when we need that wider option, we have this wing back here to do that for us, which is really nice, which is why I just leave them on the default wing back. If you want and you have somebody that has like attacking wing back plus plus, you can use that if you like. I just think it's a little bit more open than it needs to be. Now for this left back, I just pop them on the role of fullback and balance. So they're going to sit a little bit further back than obviously the right back here that's on wing back. But the reason we pop them on balance as opposed to defend is because if you look at this, there's not really anybody covering that left hand side of the pitch. If you see that on the left, there's nobody there. But if we just pop this player on balance, when we have the ball, we've got that easy switch there and we've got somebody covering there as well. So I think balance is probably better than defend. But again, you guys do whatever. For the two centre backs, guys, I leave them on defender. I think it's the most consistent role, but if you guys want to do like stopper or ball playing defender, that's also fine. I just think defender is better in my personal opinion. And then for the goalkeeper, I just have them on goalkeeper. I don't put them on sweeper or anything like that, but you guys can do that if you would like to. Ooh, what a voice crack there, guys. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. If you guys have enjoyed or found it useful, please be sure to drop it a thumbs up, as it does really, really help me out. Sub to the channel if you're new, so you never miss out on any videos, guys. And don't forget to turn on those notifications. And yeah, with that, so guys, hope you have a great rest of your day. And I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out, guys, and take care.